here, taking the film all over the country, and you know, he's like, Mike, you know, you released the film almost a year ago. It's on TV, it's on iTunes, it's everywhere, but I'm still selling out theaters, and this is pretty fantastic to see the second show here in Colorado Springs, you know, as full as it is, and I think that's a testament to the amazing cycling community that we've got in Colorado and that exists across the country. So yeah, clap to you guys. I loved when the film kind of, you know, talked about Salida and Steamboat Springs, you know, people were hooping, so that's awesome, showing the film in our own backyard and getting the support of the Coloradans out there, so it's pretty fantastic. So yeah, I can go ahead and answer, you know, some questions about the film or the process or the route or Matthew. You know, like Gary was saying, he's talking to Matthew, and I think what made this event and race pretty romantic and an interesting thing is just sort of the underground nature that you know, that it was, and you know, call it a catch-22, that the popularity of the film and the press has been going on about the route and the race for a few years, but I think this film has really just sort of ballooned it to a pretty enormous place, and Matthew's saying, you know, he's gotten over 100 people really wanting to show up in Banff and do the race. This was last month, and you know, the race doesn't start until the middle of June. So he's kind of really thinking about what this event is going to look like. Is it going to be a big mass start in Banff, or you know, are people going to have a spot unit and you know, it'll be tracked individually? So it'll be interesting to see what June looks like for the event this year. I can kind of see if you guys have got a question, yell it out. And I'll repeat it and answer it. Show a hand. I got a light in my eyes. I can't see too well, so.
So with the new race, with all the people showing up, you're not going to race?
I'm not going to race. No, we're ideally, we've got 2 more films that will be shooting. It's looking like we will be at the start of this year's race, doing some interviews and with this sort of you know, some of the current racers, and doing some filming up in the Banff area for 3 or 4 days, and then we're going to re-release sort of a 2-disc set of Ride the Divide. So we are planning on being up there for 3 or 4 days and doing some filming, or at least sort of along the route, just to update the DVD. But no more racing.
It'd be really cool to have a lot of networks along the race to check in, film the different sections.
Yeah, it'll be, you know, as it progresses, and that's something that we're talking with Matthew about, and even other entities. You know, yeah, could there be a camera, maybe a live internet link camera, you know, in, you know, multiple locations, you know, in a town or a small town, and kind of talking with racers as they come through, you know. So yeah, there's lots of discussions. So we'll kind of see what filming you know, looks like. You know, we don't want to do a Ride the Divide 2 per se, but you know, definitely could, because each year, you know, what happens out on the route is a brand new crop of riders and a brand new crop of experience. So each year, you know, you're out there doing it is a brand new film and a brand new experience. He asked if we were self-supported. So yeah, every racer, the rules state that each racer is self-supported. So you are carrying your own gear. You know, you are able to, in the small towns along the way, anything that is public, meaning a grocery store, a bike shop, you know, anything that another racer has access to, you have access to. But you know, someone meeting you along the route with food or water or a drop is illegal. So it's you know, the rules are self-supported. Yes. Just sort of weight. I was up there, you know, I think I was riding a Moots, and you know, Moots with the aero bars and pedals, I was just over 27 pounds. I never did weigh my bike fully loaded, but Matthew's got his Cannondale fully loaded with gear, just under 35 pounds now with everything, and he's going, you know, super light. You know, he's got you know, his bivy sack is really not even a bivy, it's more a sleeping bag cover, and and whatnot. So he's going ultra light with that, and then just relying on his know-how and then the services along the way, to hopefully you can limp into the next town to kind of get resupplied or a bike worked on. How was the route initially determined? Good question. So 13 years ago now, maybe a little more, Adventure Cycling Association in Missoula, Montana created the route. They've got a lot of maps, cycling maps and routes that sort of crisscross the U.S. north to south, east to west. They've got some great loops, but they created this route, with the idea of creating the longest off-road route, where a lot of their other routes were on pavement and road. So I think now that some entity creates the longest off-road route in the world, well, you're going to get people starting to see how fast they can time trial it in and then race it. So that's slowly how this has bubbled up. But their maps are fantastic. Google them, Adventure Cycling Association. The maps are very